Hello, my name is Christopher Rupi, and on behalf of myself, William, and Deborah, I'd like to welcome you to the first night of the One House, One Heart 10-Minute Play Festival. Tonight, for your viewing pleasure, we have 3 original comedies. We're so proud of all the playwrights, directors, and actors who have participated in tonight's performances, and we thank you for being here. If you like what you see and would like to help us continue to provide a venue for our original works, please take a moment to check out our Venmo information below and consider making a donation. Please be sure to come back tomorrow for a night of dramas and on Sunday for a night of eclectic pieces. You can be a part of this process too. Please see the description below for information on voting that will begin on Monday, October 12th. Our award ceremony will be live on Sunday, October 18th at 7 p.m. Thank you again and enjoy our night of original comedies.
Bless me, Father, for I have sinned. It has been 48 hours since my last confession.
Sister Mary Margaret, is that she? Again? This is the third time in a week. What in the name of all creation and the fighting Irish could you have done in 2 days?
What I have sinned, Father. I wish to confess. I wish to bare my soul.
Sister, the last time you bared your soul, with all due respect, I was in this box for nearly half the night. The line for confession wrapped in and out of the fuse so much that it got to look like the wait for the Matterhorn at Disney.
Oh, please, Father. I have to do this.
All right, lass. But in the name of Michael and all the patron saints, could you try to keep it short this time? Mrs. Applebaum was in the congregation tonight, and you know if she doesn't get in her full hour of griping about her stepsons, she starts hitting the bottle again, and then hitting her husband, and her kids, and the dog.
In the past 48 hours, I have lied to everyone I met. I deceived Mother Superior. I deceived Sister Gertrude. I deceived Sister Lawrence.
I get the picture, Mary Margaret. And how, pray, did you deceive them?
I told them they knew who I was.
I'm afraid I don't understand.
Father, I just don't think I could be a nun anymore. I've lied every day of my life. I've deceived everyone I ever cared about here in the convent. I've used as much deceit and subterfuge as I can to hide my guilt, and I just don't think I can live with myself any longer.
Lass, calm down, calm down. What could you have been doing that's so terrible? You've never confessed to any deceit before. Where is all this coming from?
I lied to you, Father.
And how, pray tell, did you lie?
I I have, I have feelings, Father.
What sort of feelings, sister?
The feelings. Uh, the feelings that you're supposed to give up when you become a nun.
Ah, feelings of passion. Yes?
Yes.
Feelings of a burning need. Am I right?
Yes, Father.
Forbidden feelings. Feelings of lust. Feelings that make your heart go flutter and your stomach do somersaults.
Oh, I know they're wicked, Father. I know they're against God's plan for me, and I've tried so hard and so long to suppress them, but
Nay, lass. You're, after all, only human. Feelings such as these you needn't be so worried about. Lord knows, we all get them from time to time. Just remember God loves you and he knows your heart is right.
but I mean, surely I can't allow these feelings to continue.
Well, you nay can bury them away, lass. Feelings such as these are natural to everyone.
So, it's not a sin to feel this way.
Your feelings are your own, lass. No one can take them away from you. Now, feeling and acting upon them are two very different things.
But it would be wrong to tell this person how I feel.
Not necessarily. It might due to ease your conscience.
So, I should tell them how I feel.
Well, if you truly have feelings for them, then they must be a friend.
Oh, Yes, Father, a very, close friend.
And if they are truly a friend, they should be able to accept such an admittance.
Do you really think so, Father?
Lass, the power and the love of the bond of friendship can survive any tide.
You're right. It's just, that's so silly of me to just hide this any longer.
Of course, Mary Margaret. Now, for your contrition, 6 Hail Marys.
I'm going to tell Sister Gertrude that I'm in love with her.
I didn't get that last part.
You're right. Uh, it's, it's just, well, Gertrude has a right to know.
Oh, back up, sister. Whom did you say?
Sister Gertrude.
That's what I thought you said. Mary,
Yes, Father.
are you sure you know your heart?
Oh, yes, Father. I love her with all my heart and soul.
Perhaps you're meaning to say spiritually.
Oh, no, Father. I mean passionately.
Shit.
What was that, Father?
I said sit. Sit. Oh, God, why did I ever think of switching for Tuesday night confessions from Father Browning?
Is something wrong, Father?
Well, the thing is, Mary Margaret,
Oh, that's the other thing I need to confess.
what's that then?
My name. It isn't really Mary Margaret.
Oh, really?
No, my real name is Ethel Kleinman. You see, Father, before I became a nun, I was Jewish.
Mary Margaret, let me get this straight. You're telling me that you're in love with Sister Gertrude and that you converted from the Jewish faith?
Oh, well, I never actually converted, Father. You see, uh, I'm a Jew, and up until 4 weeks before I entered the convent, I was still attending temple, and then the nun who I met at the convent took me in off the street, you know.
Off the street. And what were you doing on the street?
Well, selling crack.
Oy vey.
You sound just like my father, Father.
I'm sorry, this is just taking a bit out of me. So you're saying that you never converted to Catholicism?
Well, no, Father, but the nun seemed so nice, and I don't know, I loved the clothes, and, well,
Well, what?
Sister Gertrude.
Why did I stop keeping a bottle of Jimmy Bean in here? Mary, Ethel, that's quite a confession.
Oh, well, there's more, Father.
What's that then?
I hate my mother.
Well, hate is such a strong term.
No, I really loathe her. She was always boozing around the house, and she kept yelling at me and telling me that I'd never make anything of myself. Ugh. I was secretly glad when she kicked me out of the house for sleeping with my cousin, Moisha.
Oh, doesn't Father Grayson keep a bottle of antacid in here?
Father? Are you still there?
I'm still here, Ethel. Forgive me for being so bold.
Oh, you're the one who does the forgiving, Father.
Do not be so sure. Ethel, why is it you've never brought these things up in your other many, many visits to the confessional?
Oh, I couldn't mention all that to you, Father. It would be so scandalous.
But you've been in here nearly every other day for the past 3 years. You've confessed to licking the spoon for the convent cake. You've confessed to not entirely cleaning the kitchen sink. You've confessed many times to secretly not finding Father Browning's lectures very interesting.
Yes, but you said I shouldn't be afraid to just express my feelings, and I have, and it's so wonderful to get all that off my chest. And besides, I did commit those sins, and aren't those considered important sins for a nun?
Yes, but you've clearly had more on your mind. Just why, in the Lord's name, are you bringing all this up now?
Because I wish to confess my final sin, Father.
There's more.
Yes, but I'm afraid I may shock you.
Oh, shock away.
I really shouldn't.
Shouldn't? Why in the hell shouldn't you? You've already confessed to being in love with another woman, changing your name, hating your mother, not properly converting to Catholicism, selling drugs, and sleeping with your cousin. What, did you look at the Ten Commandments and say, oh, I think I'll break this one today?
Well, no, Father. But I
It shook me. She says, shook me? Why? Sister, if there's one thing I don't think you can do, it shook me again tonight. I asked you to bear all your sins, and you have. Lord knows you have. There isn't a rosary long enough for that act of contrition. So if it's all the same to you, sister, I'd like to hear your final sin and be done with it.
All right, here goes. I want to have a child, Father, and I want you to provide the sperm. Father? Is that a yes?
Good morning.
Hey.
I'm texting you a photo.
Ugh. What is that?
The drawing. My kid did it.
I'm sorry.
It's fine. The resolution is not great.
No, I mean I'm sorry I didn't know
Know what?
about your kid.
Sure you did. You met him at the company picnic and bring your kid to work day. And you came to his birthday party. You're his godfather.
Right. No, I mean I didn't know that he was special.
I think he's pretty special, but I'm a bit partial.
No, not like that. I mean like special needs.
Well, he is a little high maintenance sometimes.
Right. Well, you might want to warn somebody before you go showing this thing around.
I know, right? Kind of spectacular.
You could that's one way of putting it.
Obviously, his potential isn't fully realized yet, but I think with the right cultivation, it could really go far.
Uh-huh. Does he go to a special school?
No, not yet. He's only 3 after all. But in a few years, the Art Institute might make an exception and enroll him early.
Wait, he's only 3?
Yeah, remember you got him that Play-Doh set for Christmas? Oh, although I must say his capacity for 3-dimensional abstraction is not quite on par with his 2-dimensional faux realism.
This is making much more sense. What is this supposed to be, anyway?
It doesn't have to be anything. That's the beauty of it. And the content of a piece of work is between an artist and his medium.
You have no idea, do you?
Not a one. It's something else, isn't it?
Yeah, something else.
It speaks a powerful message to the viewer.
It's certainly unsettling.
You're right, it stirs up dormant emotions in the gut.
I think that's called nausea.
Staring into the soul.
We're trying to steal it.
You don't like it?
You could say that.
Then how would you describe it?
It frightens me.
Like as in it causes you to contemplate your mortality.
Like I wouldn't want to have to sleep in your house.
True, you'd have to take the sofa. The guest room is being converted into my son's studio, but what else?
It hurts my eyes. I literally feel a migraine coming on.
Because it's that good.
Because it's that bad.
So you really just...
Yeah, I really hate it. Yeah, I do.
That's a shame. Then again, I guess there's no accounting for taste.
This has nothing to do with taste. This isn't even a question of aesthetics. It feels like my visual cortex is being assaulted. It feels like an affront to my eyes.
But isn't all beauty in the eyes of the beholder?
Granted, try to look at it objectively then.
I don't see what the problem is. How can you
Fine,
appreciate this?
whatever. Just agree to disagree.
Thank you for your honesty. I guess his style isn't for everyone. And genius isn't always appreciated universally.
You're serious.
I think it's brilliant.
It's a preschooler's finger painting, and I'm pretty sure some of the stuff on there isn't paint.
It's mixed media.
It's shit.
Oh,
Look, it's cute when an elephant or a chimpanzee do it in a novelty act, but here it just looks like negligence. Are you sure everything's okay at home?
we maintain a positive atmosphere in our household. Far be it from me to squelch my son's budding talents.
Look, I'm not saying that you shouldn't support your kids' artistic dreams. Yeah, they even say art therapy is very effective for the intellectually disabled.
Are you trying to say that my son is a
No, I am not trying to say that. I would not use that word.
example of a child prodigy? I mean, I had my suspicions. His aptitude for color theory is off the charts.
Hey, obviously this is something you're super excited about. So I'm not going to rain on your parade, but just remember, before you go calling the Guggenheim, there are billions of refrigerators all over the world that are graced with the products of unexceptional offspring, and their parents are just as proud as you are.
Well, they should be. Children are amazing. Some are just not as amazing as others.
What, like yours?
Apparently so.
I believe it was Picasso who said, "Every child is an artist. The problem is just how to remain an artist once he grows up."
So what? That guy was a hack.
I think that's debatable.
So what are you trying to say? That my kid isn't remarkable?
Not at all. I'm saying every good parent thinks their kid is remarkable. It's a plethora of factors that tend to sort these things out, not the least of which are environment and education. How straight time itself sorts the mediocre out.
But
Or what?
what if he...
Come again?
What if he isn't remarkable? What if I just think that he is? Or what if I just hope that he is, or will be, or has the potential to be?
I don't understand.
You wouldn't. You don't have kids. You don't know what it's like to pin your unattainable hopes and dreams on an uncontrollable sentient life force.
That sounds terrifying.
What if he's just average? Or even below average? What if he never finds his passion, or ever takes any chances, or ever excels at anything? What if he never goes to college and bounces from part-time job to part-time job, or worse? What if he ends up in a dead-end cubicle pit of despair? What if he's like me?
Come on. Hey, what's so bad about that? You're standing there gushing about something your progeny produced on their own accord out of the unadulterated kindness of their heart, just for you. You get to hang that by your desk and be constantly reminded that someone is sitting at home thinking about you and can't wait for you to walk in the door at the end of the day. That's nothing to sniff at.
Yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah. Sure, I don't have those domestic responsibilities tying me down. Sure, I can go out partying with the guys on the weekend and spend my paycheck how I want, travel the world, and have numerous sexual encounters with complete strangers. Or, try recreational substances. But one day I'll get tired of all that, maybe, and then want to settle down. And when that day comes, if it ever does, it might be too late. And so treasure what you have.
You know, you're right. I have got it pretty good.
Of course you do. Besides, you see what happens to those artistic child prodigy types.
True, I had not thought about that.
Oh yeah, watch any documentary or biopic about a highly successful artist of any kind, and you'll be praying that your kid is next to normal by comparison.
Wow, thanks. That really helps put things into perspective.
Anytime.
So, everybody looking forward to the weekend.
Of course.
Wait.
Terrific. Don't forget to turn in time cards when you clock out.
Right.
Yes, thank you.
Oh. Did I miss something?
Oh, it's
It's nothing. It's just an inside joke.
I like jokes. May I see it?
I don't think.
Sure, I guess.
Oh. 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 This is fascinating. Where did you take this?
It's in my kitchen.
Oh, I get it. Don't want to give away your dealer. Fine, keep your secrets. Probably just got it on eBay anyway. I hope you at least got a good deal.
Well,
You have no idea.
Oh, really? Well, I'll give you twice what you paid for
excuse me.
it. Fine, 3 times what you paid for it.
It's not really for
You
sale.
have a hard bargain. Listen, name your price and I'll cut you a check right now.
Wait, what?
I'm serious. I've never seen anything like it. No amount is too high.
No, you really don't have
I
to.
insist. You won't get a better deal on the open market.
I don't think it's.
Someone else already made you an offer, didn't they? Who is it? I'll top them. What do you say? Come on, while the iron pot deal won't last forever.
You should know that.
Never mind. Offers off the table. I'm no longer interested.
Whew.
I am so confused.
I changed my mind. I want to see it in person.
Sure, we could.
I'm on my way.
Did that really just happen?
I'm not sure of anything anymore.
Do you really think? I should go.
Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and a Cracker Jack. I don't care if I never get back. 'Cause it's a root for the home team. And if they, I don't.
The year was 1960, a Sunday in June. I was 7 years old. There are defining moments in each of our lives, indelible moments that change us forever, that make us who we are. For me, it was the day my dad took me to my first baseball game. My dad and I, me and my dad, when I was a little boy, my dad took me everywhere he went. Wherever he went, I went. And this day, my dad was meeting his boyhood buddy Spike at Yankee Stadium, and I was going to see my first baseball game. Yankee Stadium. There are defining moments in each of our lives, indelible moments that change us forever, that make us who we are. These vivid, colorful moments are burned into our brain, our mind's eye. And if we close our eyes, we can see them. We can smell them. We can feel them. We can recreate them now as they happened then and understand how they changed us and made us into who we are today. Yankee Stadium, a Sunday in June. I was 7 years old. My dad took me to my first baseball game. In the second inning, I had to pee. Now, understand, the year was 1960. This was the original Yankee Stadium that opened in 1923. The field, that is the outside world of the stadium, was magnificent. The grass was perfectly manicured. The infield dirt was a rich, dusty, golden brown. But the inside world, the stadium itself, the inner sanctum, the structure was getting old and in need of a facelift. The bleachers, which were the cheap seats going from right center field to left center field, where my dad and Spike and I sat, were made up of rows upon rows of rotting wooden backless benches. And here I am, a small, innocent 7-year-old boy with his father at this majestic, decrepit castle, Yankee Stadium. And I have to pee. Now, the year was 1960, and the men's room, like the rotting wooden backless bleacher benches, like the collapsing concrete columns with the peeling poisonous paint, like the rusty cables and the cancerous concrete walls, the men's room was from another era, another time, 1923 to be exact. Before refrigeration, before vaccination, before sterilization, before urination. There are defining moments in each of our lives, indelible moments that change us forever, that make us who we are. The year was 1960. A Sunday in June. Yankee Stadium, the bottom of the second inning. 7-year-old boy at the game with his father, a franc in one hand, a yoo-hoo in the other.
Daddy, I gotta go.
Maris singles to right. And the crowd stood up and roared. I had never seen nor heard anything like this. The crowd's collective and spontaneous energy lifted me out of my seat, and I spilled some yoo-hoo on my brand spanking new dark blue, stiff as a board dungarees.
And I have to pee.
Suddenly, Bill Scourin doubles down the right field line, and Spike leaps to his feet and bellows with excitement as Maris scores the Yanks' first run of the day.
Nice hit, Moose! Nice fucking hit!
Mind you, I was 7 years old at the time, but I wasn't born yesterday. In fact, I was born and raised in Brooklyn. So, I had heard that word before. And that word, combined with the word moose, which was the Yankee first baseman Bill Scourin's nickname, was music to my ears. Overjoyed, I blurted out,
Way to go, Moose. Nice fucking hit.
with that, my father slowly rises out of his seat, each movement measured, practiced for maximum effect. And as he had done 1,000 times before with the same precise timing, pointed his finger at me, squinted his eyes, cocked his head, and said, "All right, let's go." His hands always wound up over here, swaggering on his hips like a dead-end kid on red alert, setting the record straight. Sometimes, depending on the situation or what I had done, my father would say, "All right, that's enough." But this time, because I had to pee, and because my father's childhood buddy, Spike, a decorated New York City cop, a decorated World War II Marine, a built like a brick shithouse, had shouted out loud enough near me, loud enough for my father's brand spanking new 7-year-old son to hear,
Nice hit, Moose! Nice fucking hit!
my father knew it was a good time to take me to the bathroom. But as we scooched past brick shithouse Spike, squeezing through the narrow original Yankee Stadium aisle of bleacher seats, I heard my father say, "Watch your language, Spike. That's my boy here." There are defining moments in each of our lives, indelible moments that change us forever, that make us who we are. Mantle, batting fifth, draws a base on balls. This was the first time I had ever seen Mickey Mantle live, in person, in the flesh, with Popeye forearms. Mickey Mantle. I had just begun to go to Hebrew school, the educational institution that was preparing me for my bar mitzvah, the day I would become a man. And I was learning about God. So I begun to think about God. And, when I closed my eyes and I tried to envision God, I saw Mickey Mantle. Tall, young, strong, blonde. Mickey Mantle. And I was at Yankee Stadium with my dad, and Spike, and curse words, and Yoo-hoo, and Mickey Mantle.
And I have to pee!
How do I describe the men's room at Yankee Stadium in 1960? The men's room that was built in 1923. In the Wild West, or at least in movies about the Wild West, when the livestock and the horses needed to drink on the farms or on the ranches or in towns and cities where the animals were tethered to a post, they use the livestock and the horses drink out of a watering trough. Now, let me be perfectly clear. A watering trough is for animals to drink out of. A watering trough is outside on the ground. Outside on the ground for the animals to drink out of. And because of the spillage, that is, the water would lap up over the sides of the trough, onto the ground, onto the feet, onto the hooves of the animals. It was a sloppy, disgusting, muddy mess. That is because a trough is for animals to drink out of. As my father and I walked through the Yankee Stadium concourse towards the men's room, my father held my tiny hand in his. Large, strong, calloused, from driving a New York City bus, a bus without power steering or power brakes. And I remember, as I looked up and my father held my hand, I remember seeing his muscular Popeye forearms. The year was 1960. As compared to 1923, technologically, mankind had come a long way. We now had television. We had washing machines. We had commercial air travel and rocket ships. But they still didn't have power steering on city buses. So my father had Popeye forearms, and Mickey Mantle had Popeye forearms, and I was at Yankee Stadium, and Bill Skowron was Moose.
Nice hit, Moose! Nice fucking hit!
And I was drinking Yoo-hoo, which was owned by Yogi Berra. And I was with my dad, whose arms were as big as Mickey Mantle's. And when we got to the men's room and opened the door, the smell of cigarettes and cheap beer and piss filled the air. But actually, there really was no air. There was a cloud. There was a mist. There were elements and chemicals, some of them natural, some of them man-made. It was fucking revolting. And that was the good part. Because as we walked in, and as my clear, bright, little 7-year-old eyes adjusted to the burning ammonia-smoked haze, I saw what looked like a bathtub. A trough. in the center of the room, with men all around it, smoking cigarettes and holding on to their meaty, beefy schlangs, pissing into the tub, pissing onto the floor, onto the hooves, onto the feet, and it was a disgusting mess. And I knew I wasn't going to have anything to do with it. Well, first of all, I don't have a meaty, beefy schlong. I mean, I didn't at the time. I was 7 years old. I had just started going to Hebrew school. I wasn't yet a man. Secondly, this piss tub came up to my chin. So there was no way, even on my tippy toes, that I could adjust, dangle my schmeckala. You get the idea what kind of place this is? The year was 1960. The United States was in a space race. We were about to send a man to the moon. We had Tang. We were living in a modern time, in a modern era. And men are smoking Camels and drinking Ballantine beer and holding onto their schlangs and pissing in a trough. As if at a party, a pissing party at Yankee Stadium. Even at 7 years old, I knew there was something wrong here. But suddenly, out of the blue, or should I say, out of the gray piss mist I was breathing, my father picks me up from behind under the armpits and lifts me up. And now I'm hovering over the piss tub. Some say that it was an adorable sight. Me dangling over the trough, my legs swinging to and fro. Now, my Yoo-hoo bottle having dropped to the bottom of the trough, which was filled with the darkest of dark yellow urine river that flowed from up high downward towards the center, the Yoo-hoo boat having navigated its way down the rocky river till it met its final destination, the drain, where it took on water and sank to the bottom, never to be seen nor drank from again. So, here I am dangling over this huge rectangular urinal that I bet Fiorello LaGuardia pissed and kibitzed in, and I look around, and all I see is old dicks, and cigarettes, and beer bottles, and a river of frothy, warm piss. There are defining moments in each of our lives, indelible moments that change us forever, that make us who we are. The year was 1960, Sunday in June. I was 7 years old. My dad took me to my first baseball game, and I saw Mickey Mantle, and I learned how to curse. And I learned not to smoke cigarettes or drink cheap beer. And I drank my first Yoo-hoo. But most importantly, I learned how to piss like a man.
Take